White Sox Dave, I don't know if you saw this. The Grammys they did not serve Miller Lite. You're our music guy. You're our Miller Lite guy. Does that bother you?
I saw what's that guy's name? The Caucasian something?
Jack Harlow.
James?
Yeah, that Twitter
Caucasian
account.
James, yeah.
Yeah, Caucasian James. Mm-hmm. I saw he does that every year.
Eddie, does that
not
bother
shock
you
me,
that
though.
the Grammys don't serve Miller Lite?
It's wrong. They should. I mean,
I'm not surprised.
I'm not surprised. Either.
Coastal Elites, that's our beer.
Right.
It's the best beer.
But it's a beer for everyone, and it's a beer that you could have at a fancy place or a non-fancy place, and it doesn't matter. And that's the best thing about.
Wait,
Miller Lite.
are we recording right
Yeah,
now?
Dave.
Oh, Ryan took the words right out of my mouth. And when I say Ryan, I mean Chief.
Thank you for
Tony
clarifying that.
Percocetti's. What's your last name?
Well, you know what? Let's just do it. Hey, how you doing? You know what I mean? What do you want, Dave? Then we're doing an ad read about Miller Lite not being at the Grammys.
It's fucked up, but it shocks me none because it's a bunch of smug assholes circle jerking each other. Coastal Elites, like Chief said, and it makes me sick to my stomach. They probably have like some $1,000 vodka soda mixes. Fuck them all.
Miller Lite brewed for taste. It's different than other light beers. Malted barley gives it the rich, balanced toffee note.
Very upsetting that you don't know your uncle's last name. It's only been 300 episodes.
Dave?
Has it been 300? No.
270, 260. Oh, it's been a lot.
It's been a lot. It's been a shit ton.
Dave? Do you want to apologize to your uncle?
No, I don't want to apologize to nobody. I just want to sit back, relax, strap it down to a nice, great tasting, less filling Miller Lite. Brewed since 1975. It's a perfect Pilsner for the working class man, and that's what we are. And woman. We don't segregate in this ad read. But
there are currently no women in the room, though.
But Dave's point is...
It's a beer for everyone. It's a beer for the people.
Miller Lite, great taste, 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/Redline to find the delivery options near you. Or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere that they sell beer. It's Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.
How many are you going to have during the Masters?
The
couple in the front nine, couple in the back nine.
The responsible limit is endless.
Yeah.
Celebrate responsibly. Hey, how you doing? Or no, good morning. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Chicago sports fans. This is Barsrool Carl.
And now pissed off White Sox Dave.
Why?
Chief.
Because we got fucking
Eddie.
baseball starting in a day, and you're sitting here dragging your dick like it's fucking the middle of February. Come on, show some spaz, show some spunk,
Spaz.
and do it right.
All right.
Show some
I mean...
Pizzazz.
Pizzazz.
All right.
Whatever. It's Wednesday.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Chicago sports fans. This is Barsrool Carl.
And White Sox Dave.
Chief. I thought we did that.
This is Redline Radio and All Gas No Break Chicago Sports Podcast brought to you by Barsrool Sports Chicago and Miller Lite. No, were you listening to Dave? Dave
I
wanted
mean,
it
I didn't
done
know.
twice.
I mean, I said Chief. I said usually I do.
Brought
one
to
per
you
episode.
by four guys who are very locked in today, as you could hear.
Well, it's opening day, Ed. I asked you to apologize to White Sox Dave beforehand, but we should start with apology season. And there's some conflict over the weekend. I don't know if Jersey Jerry, there were some apologies flying around.
Yeah,
That's awkward.
I think only me and you have said anything. I'm interested in your two guys' takes.
I had a stance.
You did?
I'm just in my brain. I'm just ignoring. I'm putting it on Nick Foles.
There's no.
He said he refused to say his name, so we don't know if it was Justin Fields. Nick Foles still currently under
There's
contract.
a picture. Everybody knows.
I didn't see the picture. I saw the video. Yeah, I mean, look at I am in this occasion team Justin Fields, and like he took the picture. It'd be one thing if he just was like, no, man. Didn't take the picture. Jerry, he didn't have the right facial expression after a long day of signing autographs. Relax, man.
White Sox, Dave.
Yeah, I'm also Team Justin Fields. I've been around Carl enough to know how awkward it is when you walk up to someone of that has a celebrity status, whether it's an A-lister in the city like Justin Fields or a B-lister like whoever else. It's annoying, and it provides secondhand embarrassment. It's cringeworthy. I mean, Jerry, how old is Jersey Jerry? Like 30-something?
I'm not sure, actually.
He could be fucking 40. He could be 25. I wouldn't know.
He is kind of
One of those
ambiguous
guys.
with his age, I would say.
Call him 30. Like, he's a grown man. Who gives a shit about fucking taking a picture with Justin Fields so you can blast it on the internet? Like, chill the fuck out. watch Justin Fields dominate this year and appreciate his greatness that way.
What do I have to do with that?
I mean, that's what you do. That's what you do.
I'm a talkative guy. I don't know how I got thrown under the bus here.
Do you take pictures of people? Like, do you like ask? Do you seek out celebrities for photos?
The only celebrity I seek out consistently for photos is Dave Portnoy.
Do you do that?
Every time I get a chance around him, I'm like, hey, man, can we do one for Instagram?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
What has his reaction been?
The second time, which was like 3 years ago, he was like, is this a bit? And I was like,
It's not, though, is it?
It is and isn't, because I like likes on Instagram. Who doesn't like likes on Instagram? You post a picture of you and Dave, it'll outperform anything else you do on Instagram.
I've never asked for one. Never done
I haven't
one with
either,
Dave.
actually.
Yeah.
The only time I did was on that fucking asshole Joe Kish, like begged me to take a picture with him at the Bears Browns live stream we did at the beautiful Hollywood Casino in Aurora, Illinois this past summer.
Joe Kish is White Sox
And
Dave's high school baseball
That
coach.
was, I'm like, dude, you're gonna get me dragged through the internet streets because of this. And he goes, just fucking do it, just fucking do it. I'm like, all right, well, you owe me for this one, and of course I got dragged.
Yeah, but like you're a time bomb for getting dragged across the internet.
Yeah,
So
it's
it's
true.
like you're gonna do it eventually. You might as well do it for your high school baseball coach.
I guess that's a good spin zone. But that's the only time I've ever asked him for a picture.
Joe Kish, I have a feeling Jerry isn't happy with us. He said something about like there's gonna be more to come, or he's declared war on us or something. I would like to offer up Joe Kish on the front lines if there's any type
Joe
of
Kish will
rough
be on the front
if there's
lines.
any type of like rough and rowdy or something. It's like no, you have to go through White Sox Dave's high school baseball coach first.
Why don't you rough and rowdy Jerry?
Come on, Dave.
What?
Not.
I liked the insult though. Crumb bum, scum bum, or whatever. What do you call him? Isn't that what it is in the video? A
Crumb bum?
Crumb bum, scum bum. It's pretty. I like that. I'm gonna start mixing that in.
Yeah, I don't really have an opinion. I thought it was
Yes,
a joke.
you do.
I thought it was a joke.
I thought he was joking
so
at
did
first
I.
too.
Like,
yeah.
he tweeted that, and I initially, like, right away, I'm
Wait,
like,
so
oh,
he
sorry,
was
Jerry
genuinely
must have
pissed?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's
I was like,
pissed.
sorry, Jerry must have been understanding. I apologize. And then, like, people were, like, some people were like, oh, what the fuck? You got to stand. I was like, dude.
Well, it got
I
to
didn't
Bears
know.
Twitter.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
what
We
happened.
we don't live on Bears Twitter. It got into Bears Twitter.
We're not a
big time.
part of, like, except for White Sox, Dave, loosely affiliated with White Sox Twitter. I don't think any of us are
There is
ingrained.
not a more combustible / and at the same time tight knit community than White Sox Twitter. I am balls deep in.
I mean,
White
there's
Sox
definitely
Twitter.
more tight knit communities in White Sox Twitter.
You don't have the slightest clue what you're talking about because you're not in White Sox Twitter. I have met more people through White Sox Twitter than I've met through anything else I've ever done in my life. Like, everybody knows everybody on White Sox Twitter, and a lot of us fucking hate each other, but in the end, we all just love the White Sox. I was actually wondering that yesterday, if there's another Major League Baseball Twitter sphere like that, or if that is the case for all other sports and their fan bases, and I just don't know it because I don't care about it as much.
1,000%, Dave.
But is that how it's like for
1,000%.
for Bears Twitter?
I mean, there's definitely a sect. I don't know. I feel like Lance is probably a Bears Twitter guy. Yeah,
Are you actually?
I knew that.
Grab a mic,
our
Lance.
intern. I knew he would be. What do you find, Lance?
They were really pissed with Jersey Jerry.
Yeah.
They
See,
were not
they were
happy.
mad, and I mean, it's weird though, because like we know him, and we don't know Justin Fields, but he's also our. It's a weird situation.
I'm backing Justin Fields all day.
I don't think anyone's not here, but like,
I FaceTime with Justin Fields before. He's a nice guy.
have you?
Yeah.
Oh, humble brag.
You know, here I am.
Humble brag.
Well, but I'll stand by Justin Fields on a personal
Did you
level.
ask
We're
him-
basically best friends.
Did you? Well, here's
He was wearing
here's-
a White Sox flat bill.
Here's where it's going to get complicated
Dave.
for you. Is the Steelers quarterback's a certain someone? So
I know,
think,
it's Mitch.
Well, you're gonna have to
It's
draw.
not a certain someone. It's Mitch Trubisky.
You
pal.
think you're gonna have to draw a line in the sand at some
No,
point?
I talked to Jerry about it already. Jerry was very respectful of the answer that I gave him. We talked about Mitch, and I talked about what he should expect. And obviously, I wish him the best, and I think that he's got a great defense in front of him. He's got the right pieces. Some explosive skill position guys. We'll see. That has nothing to do. That has nothing to do with whether or not Justin Fields and the Jersey Jerry beef. That actually exists on a similar but separate line.
I could see you siding with those two based upon your history with Mitch. That you could side with Jerry and Mitch over Justin.
People are worried.
People are worried.
Okay.
People are saying.
Oh, you guys text each other about it. Oh, what's Carl gonna say?
No,
And I'm
No.
gonna say
There was no text.
Justin Fields. I have the biggest take on it. I went on our social channel on it. after I saw you apologize, I thought we can't have just everybody apologizing.
I didn't know it was serious at that point. I genuinely thought it was a joke. But
It should have been a joke.
It should have been a joke.
I agree wholeheartedly.
so
I hope Mitch fucking snubs him the next time they cross paths.
they've already FaceTimed.
They have? Mm-hmm. What, through Caleb or something?
Yeah.
That sickens me. That sickens
Can
me.
I tell you something though? Mitch does seem like a nice boy. I don't
he's
think
a nice guy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Always. No,
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's ever thought otherwise.
Right, but I don't think he's like I hope Mitch snubs him. I don't think that's even possible.
That's his character.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Just don't question his character.
No.
No one ever has.
And that was the challenging part, and I was trying to make this clear. It's challenging. Jersey's a very funny guy. His content I think is hilarious. The signs.
The science thing's funny.
The signs. Like, I don't know. He's a funny guy.
He's got
Shit's
that
funny.
stupid greaseball New Jersey accent that makes me want to vomit my fucking intestines out through my throat.
And I respect him. And I don't want to disrespect Jared.
Who don't you respect? That's like did you ever notice that that's like your favorite thing to drop anytime we talk about a coworker? It's like,
Well, you guys were so ready to shit on Rico, and we have a show that I'm doing with him called Hot Ice that you guys can tune into on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
But
I
it's
respect
like
a lot of people.
every
There are people I like. Okay, so you would shit on Jared and be like, he doesn't know shit about baseball. And I'd be like, well, I respect the platform that he's built. I understand your agreement.
But no, that it's
Who
not
don't
that.
I respect at this company?
It's always like, oh, like every time someone's on a snake draft, it's like, oh, I respect you, I respect that, and I'm like, well, I think you respect people so much that you don't respect them. Does that make sense?
Who's,
Ed?
If you respect
whose
everybody,
quote
then
is
you
that?
don't respect anyone.
Exactly, 2 quarterback thing.
What'd you say, Ed?
Whose quote is that? Is
I don't respect you, Dave.
that like a Michael Scott thing?
Well, the old if you have 2 quarterbacks, you don't have one. I remember Spurrier saying that, although he ran with 2 quarterbacks all the time at Florida. So, but that was one of his quotes.
But nevertheless, I am Team Justin Fields. I am Team Chicago Bears till the day I die. And it's a picture. Who gives a shit, man? I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall for that interaction, though, to see how it actually went down.
There you go.
I do think Jerry is a big autograph jersey guy.
it-
That's
and-
the vibe
I mean, his name's
get.
Jersey
And
Jerry.
Those,
that's
well, it's because of his
New Jersey.
New
Is that
Jersey.
confirmed?
Yeah, I asked him that.
Yeah.
Are we sure?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I asked him that. I'm like, where'd you get jerseys? Because I thought he was a PA guy because he's a Steelers fan. He's from New Jersey.
Yeah, he's from New Jersey, but like,
I'm
who is
pretty
it?
sure it's because of his collection.
It's not. I asked him to his face.
Yeah, I asked him in Pittsburgh too.
But
It's
autograph guys are complete weirdos. Like I have a couple friends that
you're
have
sitting next to one.
thousands of autographs.
Former.
You're sitting next to a recovering and
Former.
Weren't you like 11?
Yeah, I was young.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah,
young.
that's different. Like everybody collects it.
now here's what you're stepping around here. He's going, weren't you 11? You're saying you were young. You were like 16.
No,
Even
I wasn't
then, like-
16. I was still in grammar school. Because I remember I pretty much stopped because it was like, got to go to high school. Doubles, you know? Doubles stopped me going to the Yankees White Sox series, which was the big one.
Yeah.
That's why I quit
You always
football.
want to go to that one. Oh, really?
It was because of baseball. Yes. What I was gonna say was though is I have friends that, and especially like there's guys that'll spend like 2 hours before games. Like I want to say Ryan Dempster was one of them. He was just on the show a couple weeks ago. That will sign for everybody. And then there's this guy that'll come and sign a few autographs and like go to the dugout, go to the clubhouse, start ignoring people. And autograph hounds judge those people like they're fucking Lucifer. If they don't sign for like hours on end, or if they snub a little kid because they got to go, stretch in the outfield or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of ins and outs about autographs.
It's a different breed of people.
Yeah, memorabilia. Hey, speaking of people I really respect, how about Jim Graziano?
That's a guy I do respect. That guy kills the social media game. We should fire Danny and hire Jim.
You think so?
No. I don't want Danny to lose his job, but like Jim Graziano is as good as it gets on Instagram. I think.
Yeah, check out his Instagram and Twitter, JP
And what would
Graziano.
you find out if you went on Jim's Instagram? What's some of the stuff Jim talks about? Is it a beef kit maybe in front of us, Dave? You got a beef kit you want to put your hands
Yeah,
on?
we're fully
With those
restocked.
big fucking mitts.
So this is the Barstool Chicago by JP Graziano beef kit. This is what you're gonna do. We got Major League Baseball starting up. It's still dog shit weather in Chicago at least, but it's 40, 50 degrees, rainy out. You're going to go and order a beef kit at tasterealchicago.com. You're going to go to Jewel Mariano's, whatever you got to do, get about 5 pounds of just roast chuck. It's like $3 a pound. You should spend about $15. It's nice and cheap. You're going to pop all of these ingredients into a crock pot, let it sit for 8 hours. Then you got Italian beefs, homemade, for the family for the next couple days.
$13.99.
Where did I say you can get those at?
TasteRealChicago.com.
Taste. My mouth's watering.
I got a little tip that we're gonna be moving some beef kits this month. I hear that this is like the biggest beef kit month moving because a lot of people are thinking, what are we doing for Mother's Day? Give her a beef.
I think it works on Easter too.
Well, here's the thing too. April's a rainy month.
Yeah.
Lamb.
Like you
April
want to be
showers
grabbing,
bring May flowers, then.
You want to be grabbing your umbrella. You just let that thing sit and just fucking eat it home.
What are you gonna do with all that
it-
leftover lamb?
Yeah.
Not that anybody doesn't necessarily believe us about when we push these products, but Jim just had to bring by an entire box of new ones yesterday because we went through them all. So like we're eating them, we're using them. They're delicious. You guys should check them out too.
We have the best nap of the entire year coming up this Sunday, correct? The Masters nap?
Saturday.
I think it's more of a Saturday thing. You want to watch Sunday.
Yeah, I want to watch it back 9 on Sunday. I fall asleep nice and early, watch it back 9. But my point is that you're glued in front of the TV all weekend. You got baseball starting up. You got the Masters. If you are in the area, they do sell the beef kits at 901 West Randolph. That's where JP Graziano is located. The intersection of Peoria and Randolph Street in the West Loop. Pick one up, throw it in the crock. You got beefs for, opening series of baseball this weekend and the Masters, and it's a perfect combination.
Beautiful. Go follow him on social media. He's got other events coming up. I know he'll be at Wiener Circle Friday. So
That's huge.
Yeah.
Wiener Circle Friday, huge event. Details. Anything.
That's
they're
an
teaming up.
unholy union, and I love it.
Yeah, Malort's involved somehow too. So it's a lot of good stuff going on at
Yeah.
Wiener Circle 5 to 8.
He's an
see me.
ideas guy.
Come see me Friday. Speaking of combinations, I think, right? One of the biggest pieces of, one of the most, I had this transition in my head. I'm going to stick to it. Give me a second. A part of one of the best combinations in the history of Chicago sports just celebrated a big milestone 1,000th game. How was that?
Got it.
Good. Yeah.
Took a while.
But you got there.
Yeah, it was great. I was there. It was Sunday, so he had it 2 days before down in Florida. But it was cool. I kind of went last minute, got an invite, and they always do that very well. But to see Seabrook back, Crawford back, Sharpie was there, and just like all the guys, anybody who ever wore a letter for those Blackhawks teams were brought down on the ice. That was really cool. Video tributes from Bufflin, Versteeg, all the old guys, and then even I thought it was hilarious. I don't know if they showed it on TV, but they had like little video messages from Getzlaf, Pronger, Corey Perry, some of the rivals over the years, and they were saying nice things. You could not really hear it because the boos were just like raining down. So it was just like, it made you feel like it was like the people who were there on Sunday, like that was like a real crowd. It was like the people who, it wasn't just like, we're here Sunday, family day, whatever. We don't no, it was the people who were like in the battles in 2010, fucking hate Pronger to this day, hate Getzlaf, hate Perry. And so, that was fun. And, it's just the team is absolute dog shit. So to lose to, I think they've lost 5 in a row now. And then they, to lose to Phoenix or Arizona, I'm never going to get that right. They've been the Arizona Coyotes for like 7 years. I just still call them Phoenix from 1997.
That's like the Chargers.
Yeah.
San Diego.
Yeah. And I'm really trying to train my brain on the Guardians too. Like
I'll never get there.
I'm going to have
You'll
a hard.
get there. That'll be easier because that's our.
Well, I struggle with the Washington football
They
team.
moved out of San Diego? The LA Chargers?
yeah.
I know. I'll be saying San Diego forever.
Yeah, right.
That's
but
fine.
that's their premier. That's their name.
Yeah.
Other than their city.
Yeah. So they're. It was a really nice job, a nice ceremony. And he's still, he deserves all the accolades. Like he's, there's been people trying to like shit on his legacy, this and that, because of what happened in 2010 when he was a captain. He didn't know shit was going on, doesn't even know the guy, and trying to tear him down. That's the way it works. But he is a good person, great player. He'll have his 19 in the rafters statue outside, like all that, and he deserves all of it. He was like, it's one of those things where it's like I always say when talking about this rebuild, getting a number 1 pick or a top 3 pick does not guarantee you success. And it's like they got the 2 perfect guys in Toews and Kane at the absolute perfect time to really do this resurgence in a right way, where the games came on TV. They make him the captain at 20 years old. And talk about a guy who exceeded every possible expectation. And there was a ton of hype around him coming in. Same thing with Kane. And usually those guys, they don't necessarily pan out. He panned out, and he's a top 100 player ever, Hall of Famer, all that. So it was great to see. I was glad I was there. And I hope everybody, there's like factions of the internet who are like, well, he hasn't been good for a while. And it's like, well, he's not what he was in 2010, but he's still a good player, and it shouldn't tarnish his legacy.
I mean, in the end, though, none of this will matter. Like, none of this will matter.
I wonder, and it's not his fault, but I wonder if people will be like, wow, they never won a playoff series on this current contract.
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, I don't. I truly don't.
No, I mean, it makes me mad at Stan all over again.
Do you think so?
I'm feeling like I'm hearing something in my ears, but
we got New York people in the office.
Oh, okay, all right. That's not my ears.
I was
Okay.
thinking the same thing.
I don't think it should. I don't think it does. I hope he stays. I guess that's like, I was watching that, and it almost felt, and it is a lifetime achievement award, but it felt like it too. It wasn't like, hey, he's got X amount of more, so many more, and many more. When they do the happy birthday song and many more. It didn't feel like you didn't have the vibe that it was going to be in many more. It was all the old guys who were never here, who aren't here anymore. And then it's like, holy shit, like I don't know what's going to happen. And then, the other big news was that they finally picked a broadcaster. They took the guy Chris Foster's, which I want everybody to just be nice, because I think it's gonna be a learning curve, and the team's going to be bad. So the only people watching are going to be the hardcore fans. And Foster's is not necessarily a hockey guy. Doesn't mean he can't be a good broadcaster at some point. But just give him a little learning curve. It's going to be fine. Just be nice. Edzo's staying. That's good. And that's the key point. Like they went through this whole process. They didn't pick the guy that I wanted. I wanted Steve Nelson. I thought he was really good. He's an MLB net guy.
Yeah, Steve Nelson's awesome.
And
He'll come in here eventually.
He's a lifelong. Yeah, I talked to him all the time. He's a lifelong Blackhawks fan. And I was hoping it would be him, not him. But Foster's, he'll be fine eventually. But everybody, don't make up your mind about him until 2024.
I'll say this: having seen the transition from a legend in Hawk Harrelson to someone who has really found their groove as a broadcaster, not just for the White Sox but on the national level. What's his name? Foster.
Chris Foster's. He's a Big Ten Network guy. He's a young guy. He's only 27. So
that's a big deal.
Something like that.
That's a huge deal.
Yeah.
For someone that young. But him being next to Edzo, he'll grow and learn the game, and he's got a good person to lean on.
Yeah, I wish they did it.
That's what what's his face has with Steve Stone. Steve Stone's like the best baseball guy.
It's going to take some getting used to, though. Like that, I watched the announcement, and it was a little like it's just, there's nothing they could have done better. They did the best they could, but it's like, a couple bourbons on the road. Like, you know what I mean?
What's your drink? Well, everyone knows Foley drinks during the game.
So the Heat confirmed got squeezed out, right?
See, that's what I can't get to the bottom of. So
because he I don't know, not saying he wasn't happy, but
look at that family. The not Rocky words, but his dad Bill fucked him over big time, and just they couldn't reach an agreement maybe in the early 2000s or late 90s, something like that, before the first lockout, and they got rid of him. But he doesn't want to leave Chicago. His family's here. His mom's older, so he was calling Chicago Wolves games for 5 years until Bill passed. And then they had the first year of Toews and Kane. I want to say that they had some other guy, and then they brought Rocky brought Foley back in, and it was everybody was thrilled, and he's great. I wish they did what the other teams have done. Harry Carey did it until he fucking died. Hawk Harrelson did it. Didn't he have Benetti was there? And he would do an inning.
Yeah. He transitioned out. He only did road games, which was kind of odd considering the travel.
That's the opposite. And I know the Celtics. They had Tommy Heinsohn forever, and he was an old guy.
He was awesome.
He was the biggest homer in the world. And that Foley, could they have done a situation where it's hey, I'm gonna do 40% of the home games, select road trips. Like if he wants to go to Florida, if he wants to do the Florida trip or the Vegas trip, like let him do that. And then like transition the other guy. And then in 2 or 3 years, then Foley can step away full time. But, it does kind of feel like I have an inkling that they were looking to make a change. And when Foley supposedly said, I don't know if I can commit to 3 years. Okay, like that was his comment. Well, and then it's like right out the door.
Yeah.
Right,
Well, the
right
Blackhawks got to do what they got to do too. They're trying to figure out a way to make their organization.
I know, but they could have found a middle ground.
Yeah, I agree.
For a guy that's that good and meant that much to this city. I mean, he's been doing the job since he was 26. Like he got the job in like 1980. So
that's very funny. The thought of him going from the Hawks to the Wolves.
Yeah. Won some championships while he was there, I'm pretty sure.
I mean, that guy was the king of the Allstate, king of Rosemont.
That's right. So I love Foley, but time is undefeated. We'll have to get used to the new guy. Yeah.
I mean, he just freaks out. I love them.
He freaks out at like the appropriate times too. And like, look, he's not as sharp as he was. Like he gets players wrong all the time. Sometimes he forgets who's playing.
It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. It's like part of his charm. So I didn't hate it at all. I would have listened to him for another 10 years, but nobody listens to me.
Chicago has been blessed with great broadcasters over our lives for sure.
And as we've talked before, we're in a little bit of a rut right now.
We are in a little bit of a rut.
I'm out on Boog. I'm out on Adam.
I really liked when they hired Boog.
Yeah, so
he
did I.
annoys the fuck out
I
of
know.
me.
I loved it. I was like, oh, we got a polished guy. And then we're like halfway through the season. I'm like, this guy's not mad.
Like, on that note,
you're not getting mad, Boog. Now, I will say.
I think that's why they fired Foley, by the way.
Because he was getting too mad?
He would historically, as things got bad for the Hawks, he would have rants. If you can pull it up on YouTube about Kratzov and these other guys. Kratzov's the Rangers guy. I'm blanking on the Russian that he hated back in the day. But he would have rants about people, and he would like take little pot shots at Stan Bowman, and I think that rubbed some people the wrong way, and they made some changes. So we'll get to the bottom of it. I feel like they did kind of just push him out the door.
That happened with the Cubs and Stone, right? They pushed him out.
I mean, the Cubs are, I think the White Sox are a better place for baseball people. So, like, Stone and then obviously Len Casper left. I feel like people are just, like, more inclined to leave the Cubs to go do the White Sox if they like baseball. Like, Benetti would not want to work for the Cubs. But Boog would probably, would hate working for the White Sox versus the Cubs.
For sure.
The rest of his podcast is dedicated to Jeff Joniak.
Oh, the best. He's the absolute best. That was my favorite thing on earth. In my dad's garage when I was growing up on his TV.
Thank you.
We, like in the fall, we get the smoker going, and there wasn't a delay between the radio broadcast and the TV broadcast, and we would turn the national broadcast off on Fox or CBS or whatever. And
that's something we need to develop. We need to get the technology sync.
They have it.
They do?
They have it for radios where you have like a dial, and you can, because I think the TV is 7 seconds behind, where you can delay the radio. It's like a slide thing. I used to have it. Because I used to before the Blackhawks brought back Pat Foley, I hated that announcer, so I would listen to the games that way too. So that technology to delay the broadcast has been around. I used to do it for the Cubs too, Pat Hughes.
Hey, speaking of fuck.
Thinking of polished broadcasters, get your car nice and tuned up, nice and polished at Chevy, Chicago Chevy Land Dealers.
Yeah.
Well, we just said April showers bring May flowers. So now's the perfect time to get your car tuned up.
It is.
Where are you going to head, Ed?
You're going to go to ChevyDriveChicago.com.
Wait. Let me do a transition here. Everyone does a transition. Here. Hey, Pat Foley's the best. And I know Pat. So is ChevyDriveChicago.com.
Perfect. Pass. I wasn't paying attention.
Oh, man,
I wasn't paying attention. I thought we were mid-ad read. Like, how many transitions do we have to do? Go to ChevyDriveChicago.com.
I mean, it's like, no, we did too many introductions. Now we're doing too many ad transitions. Settle in and get comfortable, man.
We might have to ban phones in the studio. He was texting.
He's texting the message board. He's trolling White Sox.
Getting information about setting a meeting for this office in about a few weeks. A very important meeting.
Oh, wow.
I would like you to be there for it.
Oh, wow.
Can I come?
No, you have time.
You can open
You're
the door.
on the message boards, dude. We need you on the message boards.
Dave, obviously you just had some car trouble. Chevy Drive Chicago is the perfect place to go if you're in that situation, right?
Yeah, and it's so efficient. Everybody hates dealing with like, oh, can I trust this body shop? Can I trust this mechanic? Is this guy going to try to rip me off? Well, Chicago Chevrolet and dealers, they're not going to do that. All you got to do is head to ChevyDriveChicago.com, head right to the little search function, pop in your zip code, and it'll give you a wide array of Chevy dealerships where you can take your car in to get service, get that oil changed, tires rotated, have them take a little peek under the hood. And Ed, that was not a sexual innuendo, so don't try to make it one. That was talking ChevyDriveChicago.com. 'Tis the season. It's springtime. You want to have that car all geared up for road trip season. Ed, are you taking any road trips this year?
Yeah, I think I may.
Yeah.
I think I may.
Tom, Ed and I are going to go to Detroit. And Tom and I want to go to a hockey game in the fall there. We told Ed we'd let him explore an abandoned building to get him to come.
That's all you got to do.
Yeah.
I got some of those.
Yeah, they got a lot.
Yeah.
That's the whole city.
Yeah,
Oh,
like that big Chrysler building I think is abandoned.
The Silver Dome. I mean, that's gone though, right?
I
Completely?
think they blew that up, yeah. But we'll find an abandoned building.
We
for
should
you,
go back
yeah.
to Pittsburgh sooner.
Pittsburgh's pretty sick.
Just for a day, though.
Don't push me. I'm already at wit's end.
That's true. That's very funny.
ChevyDriveChicago.com. I'm taking a trip today. I'm getting in a car. I'm not joking. I'm having a preseason dinner tonight with Ken W.O.
No.
Yeah.
Actually?
Yeah.
For what?
We've been talking on Twitter about this for a while. Like, hey, we should sit down. And then the 108 tournament came up. Again, great call from the 108 guys. And he was like...
Shout out Brian Nuts for winning it.
Yeah,
Did
big
he win?
shout out.
Good
Big
for
shout
Brian.
So I was talking
Good
to
for
Ken
Brian.
W at the tournament start, and he was like, hey, if I win a round or something, I'll buy you a round. And then it just went from there. So we're going to sit down and do some season preview and stuff for opening day.
No, you're not.
I swear to God, we're going to just go through like MVP candidates, Cy Young, get sharp
White
for the
Sox,
season.
Dave, how good will those opinions be?
He'll probably pick Lurie Garcia to win the MVP.
Is he on the ban list?
He's the very first name on the band.
It's like Dave's arch rival.
Dave loves him.
No,
I know
do.
you guys are friends, but it's
Yeah.
like his internet, like you
Well,
guys
he's
are
just
always
a
fighting.
fucking like. I have never seen someone dig their heels so, and I do this, but he takes it to a far greater extreme of just digging their heels into a take, and he cannot admit defeat no matter what. Like the more you call him a moron, the more he just fans the.
What's an
flames.
example of one of these
He
takes?
hates Paul Konerko because he was the other half of the Mike Cameron trade.
Yeah, and he loved Mike Cameron. Doesn't matter that the White Sox had their best decade of success, including a World Series, which Paul Konerko hit a go-ahead grand slam in.
Yes, he hates
Like,
it.
Well,
he never-
Konerko because of a trade that happened 6 years earlier.
Let me ask you this: has Konerko ever hit 4 home runs in a game?
No.
Okay.
And that was against the White Sox, and he flew out to like the right fielder. I think.
Yeah, he almost
It
hit
was
5.
Mags.
Yeah.
Do you know
Back
Mike
against the
Cameron is
wall.
one of the most underrated players of his era?
he's got- we
Dave
looked
and
it
I
up.
were just talking about
Really?
this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's got like
because
50-something
it
wins
was
above
way
replacement.
before they could value defensive metrics
Yeah.
and stuff. So when you factor in like he hit for power,
Plus-
he's got several seasons where he hit for over 20 home runs and was the best center fielder
Outfielder in
baseball.
baseball, yeah,
So
by far, yeah.
I loved.
Holy fuck.
I've loved Ken W.O. for over a year now. Once I became aware of him, I thought he was hilarious when I thought like his whole thing was a shtick. Finding out that he actually feels.
Oh
these
no, it's
ways.
very real. That's what White Sox, Dave. You give me
Just-
credit on being the
takes it to a whole other level.
what he also hates Scott Podsednik.
Yes, he does because
Yeah.
he loved Carlos Lee, and that
Well, I
was the trade
can't.
in
I
that
just
one.
I want to
El
get to the
Caballo.
bottom. We're gonna get to the bottom of some of this stuff. We're gonna bond, and so I'm excited for that. We're going somewhere off Southwest Highway, I think.
Good.
No free ads. Actually, I will get the name of the place and give a free ad before we go. Dave, opening day projections. Do you have your MVP pick, Jose Abreu or Mancada?
No, my MVP pick is I just made a $100 wager via the Barsrool Sportsbook. I got it at plus 2,200 to 1 or plus 2,200, so 22 to 1. Luis Robert. He is so they
I'll
didn't
tell you on that.
They didn't televise a lot of the spring games this year for unbeknownst reasons, but he's starting to use the right center gap and going with pitches on the outer half of the plate like Miguel Cabrera. And if he does that, and his plate coverage has gotten even better from where it was last year. There is no stopping this guy other than his health. Which now he has someone a competent outfielder to his left in right field, and AJ Pollock, which we'll get to in a minute. But I really, really think he's going to be right there. If I would have made that bet a week earlier, he was plus 35. He was 35 to 1, so plus 3,500. He is the best player I've ever seen put on a White Sox uniform outside Frank Thomas.
What about
from a tooled up perspective?
What about sorry to ask this, but like, what about the fact the starting pitching is kind of fucked now? Like last time we talked, we were like, oh, Lance Lynn's coming in, and then we said Lance Lynn's name, and then he has surgery on his knee.
It fucking Red Line Radio curse. So who all has been victim to the curse? The obvious one was Jake Berger. We interviewed him, then he tore his Achilles a couple weeks later, and then retoured again. Lance Lynn, now I mentioned him. Who else is on there? There's a handful of people on that.
Like everybody we've talked to.
Every single player on the White Sox we've talked to, aside from Giolito. Giolito's been on the podcast, I don't know, like 3-4 times.
He wasn't as good last year, though.
He was good. He had the start of the season last year.
Just saying.
Remember when we interviewed him in the basement of the cell and we had like the fucking baseball?
That was so
like,
awesome.
Dude, show us how you hold a change up. That was a good day.
That was his idea too. He reached out to me. He's like, yo, like, I want to hop on your show. I'm like, okay. And he's like, let's do it at the stadium. I'm like, okay. And he's like, come on in. I talked to the Sox. We're good.
He's solid at the top. It'll be interesting to see Kopeck as a 3. I feel like he's probably not going to pitch more than a couple innings per start out of the gate. Because really, you should just be working back from like, how can Kopeck be the number 2 in an ALDS, go 7 innings, strike out 12, and dominate that fucking game?
Yes.
And I think a lot of White Sox fans are going to be very like eager to see him out of the gate early, especially if he gets a couple starts at home. It's like late April. It's 70 degrees outside. That place is going to be rocking. They're going to want to see him go 7 innings. The problem with Kopeck, too, is he can't like differentiate in his brain like the difference between like, dude, it's just April. Like it's just April. Like, don't worry. You know, there's wait till, as Eddie would like to say, you know, game 111. You know, wait till it's later in the season and start ramping up. So I would just be nervous about Kopeck. I'm not nervous. Not nervous, but
no, I agree with you there. The second half is what really matters here. So Lynn, I talked to his people when he got injured, and it's a meniscus. I know we just had that bullshit with Lonzo Ball and his meniscus, but typically a meniscus is, with respect to other injuries he could have had, not that big of a deal. It's not some shoulder issue which could have shelved him for the year and fucked over their budget for the next 2 years.
Mine still bothers me in the winter.
It's not. What's that?
My meniscus tear.
I mean, he's under the
It's a long time.
guidance of like an athletic training staff that's paid a lot of money to get these guys on the field,
Just
keep
saying.
them on the field. But he'll be fine.
He's also, he's built tough.
Yeah, he's got that Midwest thickness.
Yeah.
And I say THICCCCNESS. He'll be fine.
what knee is it?
His plant knee.
That's not good.
Tell me why that's not good.
All right, that's not good for his arm, because if he can't he's a big guy, like 270, right? If he can't put all that weight on his fucking leg, his left leg, when he lands, then what happens is you start putting more force on your arm, and then your elbow can get really hurt because it's
You got lag.
You're using more arm in your delivery. He's such a big guy. That's because he's so big and powerful. If you take away that lower half, then you start to fuck with the upper half. So but here's the thing though, is if Ronaldo Lopez is fucking trash out of the gate, if the fucking Tigers just trade for Austin Meadows, if they're good out of the gate, and the White Sox are 500 or something, and Lance Lynn's like, yeah, I'm fine, I'm fucking fine, I'm ready to go, and he's not, that's a big risk. You guys extended him too. Did you any word from Rick Hahn after they traded for AJ Pollock? Any sense of like, you guys should have traded for Austin Meadows, or were you like, hey, I'm sorry, I've been shitting on you guys?
No, he's not going to reach out to me and say anything like that. Like he's privy to what's being said on the internet, and I don't like that the internet has put a deadline of opening day on the off season too much, because that's not a deadline. Like it's an unofficial deadline. They're gonna trade for a starting pitcher They were looking for one before Lance Lynn went down. They need two. They just signed Johnny Cueto, which is fine. He was actually pretty good. He was really good last year, all things considered.
I love
on a
Johnny
107-win team in San Francisco. Granted, that is a pitcher's paradise. Not even that park, but that division outside of Colorado. And
he's gonna get his fucking shit rocked that year. Hopefully he pitches on the road.
If he just needs to keep them in the game for now until Lynn gets back. And then they can cut bait with them. It's not like it's some major financial
But do you understand what I'm saying? That
Yes.
hopefully he's pitching at the Twins and not at home against it. Like, that's a
I
huge
understand,
difference for
yes.
Johnny Cueto because
It
he's
is.
such a fly ball. But I like it. Why do you like him so much?
Cueto, he's just a fucking.
He is
The
sweet.
picture of him on the horse and shit, like he's just a
sweet.
cool guy.
He should fit in too well with because he's not going to take up any time or resources from Ethan Katz. You know what I mean? Like, Ethan Katz has to be working on fucking Velasquez. What are you on a message board?
Me?
He's looking at.
What do you got?
I got Johnny
Fangraphs.
Cueto's stats up.
What do you got?
No, he was good last year. About a 4 ERA. His FIP, XFIP, all that shit was exactly where in line with his ERA. So it's not like it was fool's gold or anything. Like, if he does what he did with San Francisco last year with the White Sox this year, that's more than adequate.
Yeah.
And that was a really good San Francisco team that he made 22 starts for last year. So, and that's all they need him for is 115 innings pitch or so. If they can duplicate that on that cheap deal, cool. It doesn't negate that they completely blew it this offseason by not bringing Rodon back. Or if you do want to let Rodon walk because you don't trust him, then you go get Verlander, you go get Robbie Ray, you go get Kendall Gossman or Kevin Gossman. I always call him Kendall. Freudian slip. I don't know why. It was still brutal. And now you see how thin the starting pitching is. If you lose one of those guys, you're scrambling to fucking replace them.
How much does Dallas Keuchel make him? 15?
16, I think, something like that. But there's no way they let his contract vest for next year. He needs 160 innings, and he's cooked. Everybody knows it. It sucks. So you reap what you sow. You could have gone for the jugular and you didn't, and now you're paying the price for that, and the season hasn't even technically started yet, and that's what you get. So I don't know who to blame. I don't know if it's Jerry Reinsdorf, if it's Rick Hahn, if it's professional advanced scouting. I don't know, but as a whole, the organization completely fucked up, and this is what you get. You have to scramble to trade prospect capital instead of just going fucking sign a free agent, which is the easiest way to complement the rest of your rotation, and they didn't do it. So this is what you get. Now you got Gio and Cease right now and 3 question marks. So good luck with that. The Tigers they just traded for Meadows. They were, aside from their first 25, 30 games last year, they were a good team, and they're a young team, and they're a team that is hungry to prove themselves, not just in the division, but across the league as a whole. And this is what you get. You didn't get all that much better this year from last year, if you even got better at all, while the rest of the division got much better. You got Bobby Witt Jr. coming up. He made the opening day roster for the Royals, and might be the next Carlos Correa. You got Carlos Correa himself on the Minnesota Twins. Gio Urshela. Yeah, he looks good this spring. Not that spring matters all that much, but the rest of the division got better, and you didn't, and you had a chance in a world or in a all-time great free agent class, and you more or less punted on it, and this is what you fucking get. So AJ Pollock, great trade. It's funny because the within 12 hours of them making that trade, Kimbrel was suiting up for the Dodgers. I think it went double, home run, double, single before he got taken out of the game. So he's probably cooked, and AJ Pollock is a completely just solid baseball player, assuming he stays healthy. But still got holes, but you got to figure out that 4th and 5th spot in the rotation, because right now this ain't it. You're going to have to hope that Cease and Lynn can carry you with the offense to, until Lynn gets back, and then you got to find that trade partner for not just a guy to fill in for the 4th and 5th spot in the rotation, but a guy that you can trust giving the ball to in game 3 or 4 of a postseason series. So it's go time. Go and fucking do it.
It's go time, baby. Hey, is Roger Bossard going to be working on the field this year? You think?
He is.
Do you think Roger Bossard used Manscaped? Do you think he keeps a clean? Do you think he fucking uses the lawnmower 4.0?
Oh, he'd be a big fan.
Do you think the Sod Father has a tight?
1,000%. I mean, because if you're going to be grooming, he has his stuff for the grass, but for the human grass,
Do you think he
needs
puts little
Manscaped.
patterns in his pubes? Probably.
Probably could. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a good
With Manscaped, you can.
That's a good. He's DMing.
Crop preserver.
Crop preserver is great, and it's actually very crucial. If you don't know what that is, it's basically if you're out for a long day, especially now it's summer season. It's 120, game at Wrigley season. You're out all day, and then you got to go out that Friday night. Bring one of these ball wipes. Make sure you're wiping that ball before you go up to that third floor apartment. You know? I mean,
Because it's gross. I mean, you can when you get the whiff I've talked about this before. Like when you take your pants off quick and then you sit down, the waft, the air pressure, and it's in your mouth when you're sitting down. It's bad.
It's crucial, man.
Yeah.
It really is. So do that. They got the Magic Mat. It's a disposable shaving mat. They got the ball spray toner, the crop reviver. They got the ear and nose trimmer.
I've been big on nose trim lately too.
I need to get
If you
one of
guys-
those.
It is a huge. I did nose trim this morning with the weed whacker, and
Yeah.
it's a huge game changer.
Nose
here, guys.
trim is infinitely better than a nose tweeze. Nose tweeze is tough.
Yeah, I
You're
was saying,
crying.
I like a nose
about that,
tweeze
yeah.
though. I like because it makes your eyes water and everything.
Yeah, it's brutal. So
Yeah.
if you can get the trim, do the trim.
I was talking to Jeff D about that actually. So you're right. It is a lot better. So April is the beginning of baseball season. It's also Testicular Cancer Awareness Month. Manscaped has partnered with the Testicular Cancer Society to bring awareness to testicular cancer, men's health, and early cancer detection. Manscaped is also committed to raising awareness for the most common form of cancer in men ages between 15 and 35 and giving support for fighters, survivors, and families impacted by testicular cancer is part of their We Save Balls initiative. Clean up below the waist in 2022 with the best lineup from Manscaped. Get 20% off plus free shipping with code REDLINE at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with code REDLINE at manscaped.com. Honestly, trust me, it's an awesome product. You should definitely get Manscaped if you're looking to make sure your balls are in a good spot.
I
And
just
that's
did the nose this morning, Ed.
It's no bullshit, dude.
Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff. Opening day around the corner. Dave.
I can't fucking wait, man. I'm going to sit in front of that TV. I didn't know this was a thing. Shout out to Chuck Naso for bringing it to my attention. If you are a T-Mobile customer, no free ads, but you get the free MLB package with it. I did not know this. I'm a T-Mobile guy. I know like people shit on me for it. I've had it since I literally had my first cell phone and just kept it, and it's easy, whatever, blah, blah, blah.
So hit up White Sox Dave for free codes.
That's not what I don't have free codes. You have to have a T-Mobile, and you only get it for one computer. So I don't have any codes to give out or anything. But I am going to be watching so much baseball this summer that I didn't know I had access to for the last, I don't know, 18
It is a game
years.
changer.
That's a huge.
Not like because the NHL did that with ESPN and Hulu or ESPN Plus, and now just being able to be I've watched probably, I don't know, half of the Rangers, like half of every game.
Yeah,
I just
exactly,
have it
yeah.
on every single night, just flip around whatever game is best. So watch a lot of Rangers, watch a lot of Panthers. It's great.
I'm very excited for this.
Yeah.
So that's on my agenda for the next. We're in the fourth month of the year.
Next 6 months?
6 to 7 months.
Just watching baseball. That's
Just
your whole,
my whole agenda.
His whole agenda is just sitting there watching baseball.
I got Bleachers Thursday,
Oh, yeah.
1914 Club Friday,
Oh, that's awesome.
and then more Bleachers on Saturday.
Wow, that's a big weekend at Wrigley Field.
But we'll be down at the Barstool River North Bar 2 to 6 Saturday and Sunday for the 4-play Masters event, the spring golf tournament.
How we feeling about everything with the Cubs?
I actually have talked myself into a wild card berth.
Wow.
So here we are, day before a season. Wild card is on the horizon, and this team can do it. This team can go to the wild card.
What goes right for the Cubs to be in the wild
It's a
card?
great question, Ed. That's
What goes right?
What goes right for the Cubs to go to the? Obviously, pitching's keep the ball. The number one thing is that Major League Baseball changed the ball. We need that to happen. I need someone in Louisville who's in charge of the technology behind the baseball. I need them to make it harder to hit home runs. And I think that's like something that's on the horizon in Major League Baseball. Because they want more doubles and triples. They want a more emphasis on stolen bases. They want quicker gameplay. And they've been testing and fucking around with the balls. Last year they did some shady shit where they had like 2 different balls in play for different games so that they could like test them in the same environment, and then people got mad about that. So that would be a huge fucking benefit, because the Cubs pitching staff, if they did that, would have a huge advantage, where it would go from like, right now it's terrible because they're such soft tossers, but that would be a huge, honestly, that'd be the biggest fucking thing. Wilson Contreras in a contract year, obviously have a fucking monster season. Jason Hayward, don't play at all. Nick Madrigal, be good. Nico Horner, be solid at shortstop. You know, like all this. Patrick Wisdom, you know, stay hot. Schwindel, don't be a flash in the pan. Ian Happ, play to your potential for an entire season. Seiya Suzuki, be the fucking steal of the offseason. Clint Frazier, comeback player of the year. I mean, that you start stacking these things. Not if all of that happens, they'll be the best team in baseball. Like if the best thing, if every player,
best case scenario,
right?
happens
If
for every
of course,
team,
so.
they're going to be the best for sure.
I mean, I know I sound like a crazy person, but if a couple of those things happen, you know, DeGrom's out, that changes everything for the Mets. That changes the complete dynamic of the Mets. Where like the Braves are going to take you would say the Braves and the Mets would be going for the East. Mm-hmm. So now if you're telling me that like, well, DeGrom's out, now the Braves are definitely going to fucking run through and win 90, you know, whatever. Like that looks like they can take control of the East. So now that opens up the wild card. The Padres are fucking, I don't know what they're doing. So
Padres are going to be dog shit this year, I think.
So now where you're going to say, hey, listen, the fucking Giants are going to be solid. You know, obviously the Dodgers are the Dodgers. So now can like the Cubs fuck around and go compete with the Cardinals or the Brewers or somebody for whoever's
it's
taking
not going
that.
to be the Brewers.
I know. They're
the
fucking
NL Central sucks this year. They're last year's AL Central. That division's terrible.
Go look at the Brewers starting pitching.
I
The Brewers starting
understand.
pitching is absolutely electric, and the fucking Cardinals lineup's solid, dude. It's solid.
That is the worst division in baseball this year.
The over-under for the Cubs win total this year on the
70
Barsrool.
what? 5.5.
73.5.
Perfect.
So you're saying
You like the
hammer
over?
the
Yeah,
over.
I like the over. However, they will sell off everybody if it's fucking mid-June and they come out of the gate slow. So don't do that. That's not a total you would touch. So if they keep this roster and they play this roster to the best of its potential over the course of 162, they absolutely would they would do better than 73.5 games. But if they're fucking 10 games back in July, you better believe that they're going to tank and be fucking shit and trash.
Yeah. A lot riding on the first 3 months.
Exactly. So, you know, cold weather, these guys throwing sinkers, 4 games right away out of the Brewers. If they go 3 out of 4 against the Brewers to start the season, like, okay, yeah, let's fucking ride. And who says that Justin Steele isn't going to be good this year? Who's going to say that he can't be a surprise? I don't know. And Marcus Stroman is very consistent. People are telling me Marcus Stroman sucks. That's just because you don't like him. And I'm not saying I'm his biggest fucking fan either. But he's like solid and consistent. So
He'll give you 150 innings of just good, solid baseball.
and if they need to trade him, trade him. But it's the first 3 months, 100%.
So if I asked what goes wrong, is it just the completely opposite of what goes
It's
right?
literally just the complete opposite. You just Wilson Contreras, cold, little hamstring, he's out. Nico Horner can't hit a fucking double to save his life. You know, Ian Happ plays uninspired baseball. Jason Hayward starts every other day. You just start, Madrigal's a fucking head case.
Feels like an inside straight roster.
Yeah.
Like you flop 2-7. And
Yeah.
you're like wild card.
But like this is how you got to do it. This is why they're not calling it a full rebuild, because they're like, well, because they don't want to sit here and they're like trying to give us enough hope. But I mean, it's more likely than not that they end up being like a rebuild type team in August. But right now,
So under.
I'm not saying I don't know. I'm not touching their total. Here's again, if they keep who they have right now and they don't fuck with the roster and David Ross goes out and takes what they have right now and he plays 162 games and tries to win them all, they're going to fucking smash 73.5.
Yeah.
But he's going to come in there one day and Jed Hoyer's going to be like, hey, sorry, dude, here's the deal. Mm-hmm. Brendan Davis could come up. That's interesting. I'm not ready to write off hope. What?
Pete Crow Armstrong season?
Do you like Pete Crow
Yeah,
Armstrong?
love him.
Do you?
Yeah, of course.
Have you seen him at all?
I know what he looks like. I haven't seen him play.
It's kind of like a swaggy little center fielder, lefty.
Yeah, I'm pumped for Frazier though. I'll be honest.
Yeah,
I really am.
He looks interesting.
Yeah,
he swings a bat so fucking hard.
He's got unbelievable bat speed.
And like a lot of Yankees fans,
yeah,
are like, hey, I think he's gonna be pretty fucking good for you. We like mismanaged the fuck.
They treat him like shit, too. They treat him like fucking shit.
He
I
was
talked
blocked.
about this on this. I have a Tuesday morning. Just subscribe to our YouTube page. You guys are watching this. Thank you. Subscribe to our YouTube page. I have a Tuesday morning recap show called Bleacher Bum TV where I'll be talking about some stuff around the Cubs in the ballpark this year. And I had said on the pilot episode that came out this week that the Cubs free agent their new position players that they brought in this year to the lineup are like Goldilocks and the Three Bears. And the Three Bears, like Papa Bear, Baby Bear, Mama Bear. And Baby Bear is magical. Just like little bitch, little fucking, just little guy. Like he is legitimately Baby Bear. And Mama Bear is Suzuki because he's just like balanced and fundamental and all. You're going to get a lot of good stuff, but it's not like he's like, and then Clint Frazier's swing and miss stuff. He's Papa Bear. Like he's just a big fucking, he's going to swing and miss so much. He's such a big bat. He walks a ton. But like those three guys coming to the lineup, like they are completely different. Light hitting guy, completely fundamental, perfect line drive hitter. And then you've got, if Clint Frazier can be a fucking huge bat, slug, if his OPS can be over 900, like they could be trading him for more prospects. And on the front, the prospect situation looks great. Top 10 in baseball now. They're saying some people are calling it 5th, 6th best prospect system in baseball now.
Really?
Like the top of it, yeah. So
damn, that changed fast.
I think this Owen Cassie kid is fucking legit.
Yeah.
Owen Cassie was in the Yu Darvish trade. So this is stuff we haven't talked about on the north side for like 8 years.
No, I know. It's
Having
just
like prospects that are knocking on the door that are supposed to be fucking legit.
so wild how the Cubs and the Sox are just different places every time.
They
like
can't
that.
sync up.
Yeah, they can't.
They can't ever sync up. They didn't.
You wouldn't want that though.
The
Yeah,
Cubs,
you would.
but the Cubs could have
It
this.
would be huge.
They
Are
could,
you
they could
fucking-
do this
I would
comeback
totally-
by
we-
next
yeah,
year. They
we
could
would.
have this. They could have this comeback figured out by next year.
You think so?
I mean, just based on like if they end up trading Stroman this year, and someone takes his contract and they get some good prospects for him, like that's something that's appealing.
I did not know that their prospect list was that highly regarded.
Brennan Davis, Owen Cassie, Pete Crow Armstrong are fucking really highly regarded.
I can't
PCA,
wait.
baby.
I can't wait to have a shirt for Pete Crow Armstrong. I don't know what it's going to look like, but it's going to be
Like-
fire.
Yeah.
PCA.
It's a good time to be around the ballpark. I don't know.
I was talking about this. I go
Like,
on.
But I'll just say, sorry. The opening day with the Cubs it's so exciting for the first 2 days. And then it's like 10 days into the season. You're like, fucking 1 o'clock game against the Pirates. You miss one, you miss two. The next thing you know, it's like the Ivy doesn't come back till June. So like I know that I'm about to be very, very, very excited. But like the first 6 weeks of the season are going to tell the story. That's it. First 6 weeks, we'll know what's going on mid-May. You'll know exactly what's going on.
Exciting. Owen Cassie.
You know what Owen Cassie likes to drink?
Well, he's going to revitalize the Cubs.
Uh-huh.
We're drinking Revitalight.
Revitalight, which is so delicious. Black label, made for you guys. Hydrating, delicious.
It's great. It is like your nighttime drink. Like you're talking about having a nightcap. Make your nightcap Revitalight.
Oh, you guys disagree? You think it should be the morning after?
Well, I drink it throughout the day. Responsibly.
Yeah.
Well,
Keep it
this
on
is
your
how I do
nightstand.
it. Yeah, I'll pound about how the bottles they come in are big. I'll pound about half of it before I go to bed after a night out on the town, and then I'll wake up and the first thing I'll do is I'll pound the next half, and after that I feel like $1 million bill, Ed.
Yep, saves you a rough morning after. You don't got to go to the whatever section it is right next to the baby wipes and whatnot. It's by the beer, wine, and liquor sections, and you can get it at the Barsrool store, which is most important. So, Revitalight Black Label, it's made specifically with stoolies in mind for maximum recovery and the perfect complement for when your life gets a little rough and rowdy. Don't pay for Saturday nights on Sunday morning. Revitalight Black Label pairs perfectly with nightcaps and midnight snacks. Your nightstand will feel naked without Revitalight, so stock up. That is true. Like, the nightstand, like, I don't know if you guys is the same, but you got Revitalight, you got Tums, and you got water. Like, that's that's the Holy Trinity.
Yeah. Me, 100%. Revitalight, always there. I got two. I keep two. I keep one underneath the nightstand just in case the one on top runs out.
There you go. So pick up your Revitalight Black Label today in store or online at the Barstool store and tweet at us or tag at Drink Revitalight in your morning after stories.
Ed, you had a couple of beers last night. You were celebrating the Bulls clinched the playoff spot first time since 2017.
I don't know how much
do you
there's to
celebrate that?
anymore, man. It's tough.
It's been a rough 2 months for the Bulls.
Yeah.
Really,
And a lot-
2022 has been.
A lot out of their control. Like the injuries have sucked, but I mean the Alonzo Ball news is just
It's tough.
yeah.
See you
'Cause
next year.
Even if they can't do it, and the Bucks are really good. That's who we're positioned against at this very moment. You still want to see your team at full strength to see how you match up and how good you are.
Even if they get their tits blown off or if they
Yeah.
you
Like
know,
a measuring stick.
Yes,
Yeah,
you still
right.
need that, man.
but you
still
won't be able to
need
get
that.
that right
The
now.
joy is gone. They were so fun last, like at the end of 2021, where they, everybody was healthy. They were lighting it up. They seemed like they love each other, and now it's just like, I think they're 1-13 against like the top 4 teams. Like
It's tough.
they're an also ran this year, so it's tough because
I had us in the first half.
yeah.
I had us in the first
Look
half.
at I'm not gonna
But
like
it's still a good thing. Yeah,
I'm not turning my nose up at a
No,
playoffs.
not at all.
Yeah, but
and listen, guess what?
They can get hot.
All it needs to happen to get excited again is you win game 1.
oh yeah,
And then it's like you're totally back in. It's just a little lull, bit of a lull.
I mean, I'll be jacked up for even before tip
for
on
sure,
game 1.
for sure.
Yeah. So, but it's just like there was.
But I'm just saying they had us in the first half in regards to like people were thinking like, hey,
one seed.
can we win the East?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One seed, yeah.
Yeah.
One
Can
seed.
it happen?
Now, what if little Vooch gets hot? There's my X factor. Vooch gets hot. He starts going for 30, and he's gonna get his rebounds. But
And it's okay though. Like if anything, we bought into too much of the hype, and they were good enough to do that. But this isn't the final product. Like this, they're gonna add pieces, and like this is not end all be all for the Chicago Bulls.
this is the second year.
I think what I was saying in the fall was this team is going to win a playoff series. And like that's all I ever like fully bought into. I think you were kind of the same way.
Yeah, and I thought
you
for
were,
sure that could, yeah.
you were the brakes. Carl was the gas
Yes.
on that
He
conversation.
said 62 win.
I said 60 wins.
Yeah.
I thought they could win 60 wins.
Yeah.
The metrics through the first 25 games this season supported 60 wins.
Yeah. No, I mean, so if they win, I mean, we'll see. I mean, it's gonna be a tough sledding if they play the Bucks, but
It's
Can they
it to
steal
me.
Giannis? No,
I
he
mean-
just signed long term, right?
I think he just did.
Yeah.
I think he just
Yeah.
did. They're
Yeah.
doing everything.
No,
to
I
keep
want
him happy.
Jokic.
they're gonna
Interesting.
That's what everybody's saying.
But I don't know, man. It is what it is. Playoffs just need to get here, and
playoffs is always better than no playoffs.
we'll be juiced up in certain situations. I think. I know you disagree, but like if you're an 8 seed, you're trotting out there.
Sure.
You get knocked out of the lottery to get your
but-
fucking doors blown off by the
But
number 1 seed. Fuck that.
This team
But this
has
team
their
is,
pieces.
Yes, you
so,
want them to make the playoffs for
right.
sure.
So there is a difference between sneaking in,
Yes.
and being like, hey, like this is a team that's gonna this is the core for at least the next couple of years. I'd like to see this core get in the playoffs, and that's better than trying to find it. It's not like they're, I don't know, even like what the Knicks were last year, where the Knicks were, New York was hyped to the moon, and then it was just like, well, now they suck again. So I think I don't know. I'll be excited to watch those games, but it's I have no expectations for them for a deep run now.
Did you talk to your dad about Coach K?
You know what? I did. I got listen to this. So my dad has had a March Madness Monday night national championship party for like 40 years with him and his buddies. And this year he handed it down. And I was like, how do you hand it down in the last year to one of the guy's sons? Like, this is on you for
That is a good
like,
point.
you got to finish it out. And he argued like, oh no, COVID broke the streak already. Like that's it ended there. I don't know. Like, it's fine. I was like, no, that's on you for
Still blaming COVID on it.
breaking the streak. Isn't that tough?
Yeah, it's very tough.
Yeah.
That's almost like a Coach K kind of excuse too.
That was upsetting. The guy, a younger guy, asked him to take over the party. He just said, yeah, no problem, take it over.
Yeah.
But Yeah. That's
Brad
brilliant.
Underwood extended through the 28 season, and Sky Clark 5-star commit coming to Illinois.
Curbelo gone. Any thoughts?
Top 10
officially.
Yeah. No, yeah, we talked after the it's like he's got to go.
Yeah.
He had to
No
go.
surprise at
No.
all.
But there was like, well, if he goes, it doesn't matter because the Sky Clark guy is supposed to come. It's like everybody in the underworld is like saying it's a done deal, but he hasn't said yes. This is supposed to be like a massive deal, like bigger than. No offense to Iowa, I mean he's killing it, and did awesome things, but by far the biggest recruit that Illinois will have gotten since probably D Brown.
D Brown was a top 30 guy, 5-star.
Yeah, he was a 5-star. I'm trying to think.
Sky Brown is
Jeremy
the 35th
Richmond.
by Rivals.
I see 25th
And
right
a
here.
4-star. He's 35th by Rivals. But,
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
at that point.
That's
Yeah, he's a
Okay.
4-star by some, 5-star by others. So I'm sure once he commits to Illinois full, they'll drop him down to 4-star because we just can't get that type of respect. But
Decommitted
it's
from
a
Kentucky.
huge deal for
You know
us.
what I'm upset about? Can I say that too if we're in March
Yeah.
Madness? I just saw 3 of those guys from St. Peter's transferred. And
Yeah, that sucks.
yeah, like good for them. Like that's cool that a lot of these guys are going to be put in a position to go to bigger programs and like live out a dream. I don't begrudge the guys, but we're just never going to see like a Cinderella like back to back again. You know,
Like what?
like Butler. what
right.
Butler
Or even
did.
Davidson with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Like-
wanted to follow St. Pete's next year and see like what they're doing, right?
Yeah.
Like that would have been cool if they like climbed and
It's just completely dead, which is unfortunate in my opinion.
because
like
if they
they've-
started undefeated, if they were like undefeated through like 20 games, like St. Pete's, like they would be ranked. You know, it'd be like you'd be checking in on a Peacocks.
That was weird about them because they were ranked. They went into their conference tournament the 3rd-ranked team in that conference, and that's not some powerhouse mid-major conference, right?
Shout out to Mac.
The MAC MAAC.
I think it's better than people give it credit, but yeah.
the MAAC.
But LSU, and someone would have to verify this, but in my high school friend group chat, all 11 of their scholarship players are in the portal, is what I was told, and their coaches like that, they need to. This is the wild west right now. They need to figure out this portal thing for both basketball and football because,
it's just going to be natural selection. It'll happen how it's going to.
it'll even itself out.
It has to. 800
Free market
kids is-
ed.
It's going to have to.
Can you believe it?
What? It's just going to have to.
I mean, I get
Right?
it. At the same time, like a coach can leave. Why can't like the players? And it's
For
weird
sure.
because like the guy that you interviewed for the DPS, what's his name?
The Indiana kid.
He was at Northwestern for
Cop
3 years.
Miller, yeah.
Miller Cop.
Miller Cop. Sorry.
Miller Cop. He was at Northwestern for 3 years, and all of a sudden he's playing against them in the Welsh Ryan Arena. I mean, he wasn't that good, but it's like before if you transferred, you had to sit out. I think if you transferred in conference, it was 2 years you had to sit out, or you couldn't transfer interconference or something. It was something weird.
I think coaches had a level of like a block list. kind of
Yeah.
thing,
Can
It
they
was-
change it to make it less? I don't know.
This is how I would.
I don't know
it.
what like make them miss the conference schedule.
I think
Let 'em
that
play the
you
first
should.
15
They should
games,
have to
and I
sit
don't
out
know.
the first year, and then you get the year back at the end. Because now it's just the Wild West.
So what? You're gonna have some of these guys going to college for 6 years just cause?
That's fine. Give them free grad
I mean,
degrees.
it's happening now with. I mean, the COVID.
Oh, I
thing
know.
helped a
COVID
lot,
gave
but-
everybody an extra year, but usually it's difficult to because you would have a red shirt and then usually it's a medical red shirt, which gives you that other year. So I don't know. Having 6 years of college eligibility is kind of
Why not though? Why the fuck not?
Yeah, I
know
like
what
the
I mean?
6 years.
Like, yeah,
I like the Jordan Bohannon.
I
This
mean-
guy's hit 500, threes, something
Yeah.
like. There's some stability to that. Like, oh, good, he's still out here.
BYU is probably shaking in their boots because they love having 24-year-old
Yeah.
men on their team, and now
That's a
if
huge,
everybody
huge
has
difference.
24-year-olds,
But
That's
yeah,
a
it is
massive difference.
But still, though, like Chief, that goes into what you were upset about with Duke Carolina. Like that would kind of bring some of the flavor
Maybe.
back to college basketball.
I don't
maybe.
know. Yeah, it would if.
Yeah, of course, you're going to lose the one and dones who are studs and are going to go top 15 in the NBA. but-
I'm really hoping that NIL keeps more of these guys in because it's like I'm a borderline first. I might be able to just, or I'm a second round borderline G
it's already
League.
starting to happen.
Yeah,
I mean, look at Kofi.
Right.
You know, like
I think Kofi's coming back.
yeah, like
Yeah.
I know he did his senior day thing, but I think he's got to go through the NBA process and then find out that, like, well, wait, I can make $1.5 million if I stick around Illinois, guaranteed. 1 more year?
Yeah, like like selfishly, like as a non-fan or not, like I hope he does.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
That's good for college basketball.
Agreed.
That's good for,
Yeah.
you know, my viewing experience rather than watch him, you know, be in the G League or be on the end of the bench for the Magic. You
never
know,
hear
like,
about him again.
Yeah, it's like it's way better.
Yeah.
Yep.
I just had a couple of things here. My bakery's closing. That's really bad news. I don't know if you guys lost
I
anything
actually
like
got
that.
something I wanted to bring up. So I have been getting.
Can we eulogize his bakery first?
Yeah. No, actually,
yeah.
that is important.
Please for a moment.
Have you guys lost a butcher, a baker,
Holy
a tailor, an accountant? Have you lost something before like this?
Yeah.
I lost a butcher shop as a kid. My dad was like very upset about it. Like it was like a bad thing. Famous butcher shop on 95th Street going back to the 60s that he was going to as a kid. That was a tough one. We lost Tuzik's Bakery also on 95th Street within the last year and a half. That devastated him. He's got 2 bakeries though. But that I remember being like, you're taking this like awkwardly hard. He's like, you don't understand. Like I've been going there twice a week, every week for as long as I've lived in this neighborhood. Like, oh, now I'm losing. I've only lived in the neighborhood less than 2 years, but we go there twice a week. It sucks. So.
Yeah, I feel like we talked about it the other day too. It's crazy. Right before it closed, like the day before, didn't we?
Yeah, I think so. It was like, yeah, it was supposed to be closed, and I emailed the guy. And
R.I.P.
Thank you very much.
That
we're all
happened to me,
familiar
Carl,
with
just let you know.
Kingston Mines here.
That happened to me. Glazer's Bakery was like a cornerstone of the Upper East Side for 116 years, and it closed during COVID, and it was actually like a really big deal. There was like lines around the block, like people getting their last orders in.
That's tough.
I grew up with that. It was like our birthday cake every year.
It's unfortunate.
I was a big Miara's Bakery guy on Addison too. That closed a long time ago though, but R.I.P.
But it's still tough, right? Like those donuts were.
Yes, great Long John, and you could say R.I.P.
What about
whenever.
I don't think.
Thank you. No, you can. You
So,
can bring it. Okay, Dave.
I don't know why this name popped in my head, but if someone brings up Frank Sinatra, who died, I think it was like 2000-ish. Do we say rest in peace every time Frank Sinatra's name is brought up?
Am I having deja vu? Or did we talk about this
We
last
did.
week too?
Was
But
this
we
on the
didn't-
draft or was it on
It was-
Redline Radio?
it was on a draft.
Yeah, I think like we said, like they should continue to rest in peace. They shouldn't
Well,
just- there shouldn't be a
once you're-
finite amount of time that they
once
should
you're-
stop resting. in
Once
peace.
you're dead for that long, it's like it's assumed rest in peace. It's not like it's no shock anymore. It's like they've been dead 20 years. You know they're dead. Like,
George Washington.
yeah, does he rest in peace?
Hope so.
Like, do we say?
Yeah,
do we
like
verbalize,
think about that. Okay,
George Washington.
what if some
rest in peace?
dickhead rolled up to his grave and started, throwing
Desecrating it.
cherries at it? Yeah, and like digging it up. That's not resting in peace. Do you think that's right?
He doesn't know that.
White Sox
rotting in
Dave
the ground.
strikes me as a vandalism guy. Like I could see you doing that.
I got suspended from my first 3 games my sophomore baseball season for egging a house.
There you
Nothing
go.
wrong with that.
Would you ever dig up a grave?
No.
What if there
What the
was?
fuck is wrong with you, Ed?
I puked at the sight of a deer
You trying to
getting
sneak
gutted.
that one in there.
Hold on, because I'm glad
answered sincerely. Though.
this is one of those things.
Answer everything sincerely.
This is one of those things that I've always wondered about forever. Where you know how because that's a crime, right?
Huge
Yes.
crime.
Right. Yes.
How old does a body have to be before it's an archaeological find? Like no one was like arrest the people who were going into the Egyptian tombs. Like no one was saying that. You come across a tomb in ancient
That's a
Europe.
fair point.
Yeah, no one says shit. That's great.
I feel like you've talked about this before.
Have I on this show?
Was it on Twitter? I feel
don't
like
know.
I've seen you bring this up.
It bothers me.
Yeah.
Well,
It
I mean,
bothers me.
don't you own the plot of the cemetery, or don't you like pay for the rights of the cemetery lot? Like if I have a plot of the cemetery, then don't I have that?
Rights expire.
Yeah.
So the cemetery at 111th and Cicero, which spans up to Pulaski, that's part of the.
Is that where your
I think it's
plot is?
115th.
Do you have a plot?
No, but
Okay.
that's the big cemetery that's connected to the Maris property.
Why, do you have a plot?
Yeah, is it like a normal
Yeah,
thing?
you do?
No.
Oh.
My mom's side of the family has like a section where there's like a bunch of them. And I don't
No,
know.
I don't have a plot, but this is about. It's about digging up graves because
Okay.
graves
So you would
bother
not
you.
dig up a grave?
I can safely say.
What if it was an archaeological find?
The guy who ran the cemetery
I'm a history nerd,
dug up a bunch of graves.
Oh, really?
Dumped the bodies into a massive one.
Different one?
There was one there. Dumped them into a massive grave and then resold the plots of land.
Yeah.
Actually,
so that when the loved ones would go out
for
there,
a little cross
now that guy should
promotion,
be killed.
Oh, yeah. Pretty sure it was Burridge.
For a
You
little,
disturb the dead like that, you're going down hard.
I'll be fucked. That's fucked up.
Who disturbs the dead?
I went down a John Wayne Gacy rabbit hole after your interview with his lawyer a few months back. The Wikipedia page is fucking weird.
It's a book.
I read every single word of it. Every single word of it. And it took me like 30 minutes because then I'd Google like different parts of the whole thing. But Jeffrey Dahmer was a Milwaukee guy, right?
Correct.
So Jeffrey
used to
Dahmer
hang out at that bar over there, Dave.
Yep. L&L.
Jeffrey Dahmer did?
Yeah. So the bar across the street, it's
I've
called
never been in there.
The creepiest bar in the U.S. I've been in a couple times since we moved
It's a
here.
nice bar.
Of course,
Yeah, and it's called the creepiest bar in America because Dahmer and Gacy have had a beer there, supposedly.
Yeah,
Allegedly.
apparently John Wayne Gacy used to perform there. Anthony Bourdain has put it on a show when he came to Chicago.
And
It's a nice bar. Go back.
Nice guy, Ken.
It was Jeffrey Dahmer. They were excavating. So he had this little shitbox apartment in like a mid-rise in Milwaukee, whatever part of Milwaukee, I forget which part of it was in, and they were digging up to like repave the parking lot and found bodies and shit. And I'm fucking up a little of the details, but yes, they dug up a bunch of Dahmer's bodies in this apartment complex that he lived in.
But
Creeps me out.
But if I'm understanding this correctly, Chief, you think it's an archaeological find?
I'm wondering where the cutoff is.
Yeah, it's a very good question.
It's a fair
very
question,
good
yeah.
question.
Like if you come across a Civil War soldier body,
And Tatum.
Yeah, like at what point is he fair game?
Yeah, I don't know.
Why can't we exhume George Washington?
why would we do that?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Is he buried
Why
in
would we
Arlington?
exhume fucking King Tut?
No, Arlington.
You know?
Yeah, like King Tut, you fuck around with his body all you want.
Yeah.
Because we got to
Studies.
study him.
But then,
Well, let's study George, dude.
George
he had blood
We got George.
transfusions.
We
He
got
had
George
wooden
on.
teeth.
We have George on record. We got nothing on Tut. We got nothing on Tut. And the wooden teeth thing, you know that's not. Did he have wooden teeth?
He did.
Wool. His teeth are made of wool.
Blood transfusions. He had 50% of his blood sucked out at a barber shop one time.
Speaking of transfusions,
True story,
come
yeah.
see us Saturday, Sunday, Barstool River North, 2 to 6 p.m.
Transfusions. So what if it was like a content that we found a
Riggs, he's
grave
in town.
and like someone said they'd be okay with you digging it up?
Eddie's. Eddie, how you doing?
to dig up a grave.
I just love the thought of you out there with a camera, seeing his ass fucking digging with a shovel.
You reposted that video of you with the pawn shop metal detector. What if you stumbled on a bone and you're like, I
I'd be
wonder what
scared.
the...
What if we did a forest preserve series where we go to forest preserves and we just start digging and we try
I
to
would
find
love to
bodies?
bring you
Love that.
mushroom hunting.
I would love that.
You get to go
Crazy.
camping at night.
You and Dave have to do this.
Yeah, I'm not digging though.
I'll dig.
I'll
dig.
or I'll get my employees that I had in that video.
Yeah, or those kids.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they can do it.
Those kids were stars. They
Cook
should work
County,
for us
Will
one day.
County,
Great.
DuPage County. You got a forest preserve.
Sydney Welsh
you
just
like-
texted me the other day. Have you ever been in Blackwell Forest Reserve? I'm like, of course I have.
Text her
That's,
back?
I did.
I
said
mean,
that's
bro,
the Forest Reserve I grew up at.
Yeah, I grew up and there was a bunch there's on the northwest side of the city of Chicago. There's a ton of forest preserves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Protected. I think Cook County has the largest network of forest preserve community in the United States. Look it up.
Someone told me once that Illinois in general has the most woodland. I don't know if that's true or not though.
See, I can believe it.
Yeah, there's a lot.
I can.
You guys ever
Woodlands.
seen Maine? Maine's just all fucking trees.
but
How many Maines fit in Illinois?
One?
good question.
Maine's pretty big.
What about like Washington or like Alaska?
I mean,
Isn't
Alaska's.
That's forest.
Forest, yeah.
That's
Like,
forestation.
what's a woodland?
Woodland is what we cleared to create the farms. It's like all this shit. Have you ever driven through Indiana? It's like woodland. It's like wooded.
So Maine
The
is
woods in the forest are different.
35,000 square
didn't know
miles.
that.
Illinois is 58. So
So one.
1.8
Yeah.
or so.
Okay.
Maines. Or
One
1.4.
full Maine.
Yeah.
There's a lot of forest, bro.
In
You know,
Illinois?
there's more
Oh, yeah.
forest.
Well, is it woodland or forest?
You ever been down to the
Same thing
Shawnee?
to me.
You ever been down to
He
Shawnee?
just said he just,
There's something
Pull
like,
up Shawnee.
That's around the school.
Pull up Shawnee.
I think there's 30%
Look at it.
more forest now than there were 20 years ago.
In Maine?
All globally.
More?
Globally, more.
wait, Carl just made a point to me saying
Forest and
woodland
woods are different. It's different.
Are you fucking around or are you
No!
serious?
But you just said it like it was obvious. Now
I am saying it like it is
But now
obvious
everyone's
because it is
making
obvious.
the same mistake.
The woods.
The
If I'm
difference-
going to the woods, is not like Seattle, Not Seattle. Washington, some of Oregon, heavily forested areas. Those are forests.
The difference between woods and forest comes down to the canopy and tree density. While forests are known to have a thicker canopy cover, the amount of land covered by tops of trees, woods usually have a more open canopy and and sparser tree density, keeping the soil drier and unshaded.
Makes sense
something new
because
every day.
Yeah, and
Well,
then there
Dave
also
goes and
is-
plays in the woods. He doesn't play in the forest.
Yes, and then there's also rainforest. So there are subcategories to these.
Okay, now I see it. Yeah.
I'm going number one. I like the woods the most. I think the woods are because the wood. That's where you have the creek and the rock formations, and you can do more of the hiking naturally.
So then I would say that Maine is a forest and Illinois is woods.
Yes, I would. Going off of this conversation, that's what I would say. Yes.
Now, where you really start to get tricky are some certain parts in Minnesota. Wisconsin is
Forest.
wooded. Wisconsin's wooded.
Wood.
All right, I'd like to
Shout out Nottingham Forest.
I would like to restate. I Googled most woodland state in USA. Maine was number 1.
Okay, so I was right.
89% forest.
Nice.
Fucking
Now is that-
trees
but is that
everywhere?
But is that
yeah.
ranked by percentage now? By percentage of state square footage?
Is this like
Is
like
New
a-
York on there? Because
like upstate
Yeah,
like
New
New
York
York's
is
gotta be-
crazy.
hold on.
yeah,
Yeah,
upstate New York, like from what you described
Don't
as
do
woods,
percentage, Ed.
like upstate New York is all woods.
Forest covered by state and territory in the United States.
Give me raw square miles.
This is the total amount of timberland actual forest cover for each state may be significantly higher. So New Hampshire's 2.
Yeah, it makes. Yeah, I feel like all the
Big
that's
projects
the
and-
percentage, Ed.
This is all I got. Hold on.
Convert it.
but then I feel like
Illinois is 51. So that was way long. That's but not out of 52. We got the American Samoa. We got the Northern Mariana Islands here. West
Can't
Virginia's
forget
up
about
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bama, Vermont's big.
We should do an episode of Dog
New
Walk.
York's 12, Tom.
Okay.
We should do an episode
Right
of
where it
Dog Walk
belongs.
on the Hatfields McCoys. That was originally about timber rights. That's
Let's
how
do
that
it.
got off in West Virginia.
Weren't they just in one big standoff, like neighbors, and just like constantly had guns pointing at each other?
Well, it was timber rights, and then there was a dispute over a pig. And that's how it got started.
I love those old Wild West stories. Where were they from?
West Virginia and Kentucky.
Okay. Feels like the Wild West.
Hezbollah interview. You guys watch that?
Outstanding.
Love it.
I-
Caleb's so
One of the
fucking
best
smart.
pieces of content I've seen this company produce. So big week for us. Big week of stuff going on. Opening day.
I said this to a few people privately, but I'm happy. So I feel like I've kind of reached my like old man part of life where technology and social media and pop culture has kind of passed me by. Like I don't have TikTok. I don't watch TikTok. I suck at Instagram. I'm basically only Twitter. I didn't know who Hezbollah was.
That's
tough, man.
That's
I mean,
tough.
I had heard the name, I recognized the face and everything, but I didn't really know what it was. So the whole time, everyone's like, "Oh my god, he got Hezbollah! Like this is unbelievable."
You thought he was a baby.
No, I knew he had a whatever condition it is.
Okay.
we should cut that, Tom.
What?
You not knowing who Hezbollah was.
it's just a bad look.
Why is that a bad look?
He's fucking all over the place. You really never seen him? And it's especially tough considering that you have been, bravadoing yourself as a UFC guy because he's
He's in that world.
I mean,
big in that world.
Dana White set up the interview.
Yes.
I
he's
just
huge
started
in that
like
world.
a couple, like the last 6-8 weeks or so. But like I
That's right,
I didn't know
right.
the entire. Go ahead and fucking rip me apart. I don't give a shit. Everybody's got that weird thing, but like now I fully understand what it is and why it was such a big deal. And Caleb fucking crushed it. 2 million views overnight basically is incredible.
Hezbollah is a big deal, man.
That whole series is awesome. He does a great job.
Oh,
with
dude,
that.
I've had so many people reach out to me, like a couple people from Northwestern that aren't. I don't want to call them like Barstool fans, but they like Barstool from kind of a distance a little bit. The Jim McElwain interview, they're like, dude, this is the funniest fucking thing I've ever seen. I'm like, that's Caleb. He's just fucking great at this stuff.
Genius.
The facial expressions he makes, like, where he like I don't know, it's kind of like a grimace smirk type thing, and he like gives himself a double chin. It's just Caleb's great. Caleb's great.
Opening day.
We're off.
All
And we're
gas.
off.
No breaks.
And DJ, play that shit.